So now we're going to talk about some note-taking styles, and by styles I mean the way in which you take notes. And so these are the different methods that students have, taken notes throughout history. So before I get into these, I just kind of want to talk about how you want to find a note-taking method that works best for you and best for the course you're in. And so this is something that you might have to, try out a little bit during the beginning of the semester. Maybe you'll find that this note-taking method works best for you in your history course, or this one works best for you in your bio course, and it doesn't work best for you in your history course, or vice versa. And so these are sort of the things that you'll probably want to experiment with at the beginning of the semester while you're still sort of getting an idea for the information as it's coming to you. So to start with the outline method, this is sort of the simple method that a lot of people know and have used. This one involves main ideas and breaking your information down between your main ideas, your supporting ideas, and the details that back up that information. And so you can see in this little sample I've given you down at the bottom is the first usually heading. They have the capital A, and that'll be your main idea for the topic that your professor is covering. And then the next will be a supporting idea, and then the details that explain that that idea. And generally, as you go further down, what you write will be more. And what I mean by that is your main idea will generally be just a few words, and your supporting idea maybe a few more words. But the details are really where you're getting the most of your information in. And so, say for instance, you were talking about founding fathers that day in your course, and maybe your main idea would be Alexander Hamilton because he was the first one you got to. And so you would then have maybe your first idea be the first supporting idea be the Federalist Papers, and then a little bit of information explaining what those are, and then the second supporting idea might be his duel with Aaron Burr, if that was the next thing that he got to. And you would just follow that method and follow along what your professor was saying. So Cornell notes are another method that people use, and what Cornell notes do is emphasize retaining the information after a lecture. And so where the outline is just sort of the information broken down, what Cornell notes do is have a few added steps that will help cement the information in your brain. And so the large top right corner is just for your notes, and so this could be the same outline method that was in the previous one, just however you would want to take the notes. The smaller section to the left of that is where you add keywords or questions or main ideas that are taken from the notes. And so the only section that you actually do during class is the top right. The other two are after class. So after you're done with your notes, you would look through them real quickly and look for these sort of keywords and main ideas and add those into the left column. And then lastly, down in the bottom, you want to make a little summary about what happened during that lecture. What were some of the key points? Maybe was there something that the professor really focused on? You really want to highlight that. And so if you are using the laptop, there's plenty of templates to use for Cornell notes that can make life a little bit easier. And so these are a really good tool to use if you are taking the notes but struggling to retain the information afterwards. Another method that people use is diagramming, or some people call it a word web or a mind map. And so this can really help solidify the information in your brain as well if you're trying to cover one topic. And so this is really helpful when you're trying to tackle one single concept and then sort of branch out from there. And so this might be helpful if you're working on maybe a process, so mitosis or something. And so the main would be mitosis, and then as you went around, you could talk about the different stages of mitosis and draw little diagrams of what's happening, the cells dividing or something along those lines. And so what you would do with this is in the center of your paper is where you'd start with your main idea, and then you would branch off from there. And a lot of times people would turn the paper sideways or whatever. But that would be the diagramming method. And this would be, it's probably a better idea to use this method if you know for sure what's going to be covered in lecture that day, because this might not work in every instance for every lecture. So now we're going to talk about a couple of things that you can do to help your note taking